Welcome to the Wearable Learning Cloud Platform tutorial series. In this video, I will show you how to make your own game in the WLCP using the Game Editor mode. Feel free to log into the WLCP and follow along with me as you watch this tutorial. Let's get started. After logging into the WLCP, I'm going to choose the Game Editor mode. From here, I can create a new game by clicking the New button in the top menu bar. I'll call my game My Demo Game. And let's keep it simple with only one team and one player. We'll talk about teams and players in a future video. I'm also going to unclick the public button so I'm the only one that can see and play my game. Then I'll hit create. Now we are looking at the blank builder for our game. Notice on the left we have our toolbox with states and transitions. Remember that states represent screens and transitions are the way to move between screens. For this tutorial, I'm going to recreate a version of the demo game from the other tutorials, but be as creative as you want with your own game. In general, we say games should be built and filled in top to bottom, so let's start with the Welcome in Question 1 state. In order to add a game element to our builder, we go to the toolbox and click and drag onto our builder. Now we have a state, but before we can edit it, we must connect it to the rest of the diagram, meaning it must have a connection back to the start. The start is where players enter the game, and it connects to the first screen they should see. This dark gray circle indicates a handle from where we can drag a connection, also known as an arrow. So let's drag a connection from the start to the top of the state I just created. Now we can double-click to open the state editor and add content to the state. We will give it a title as Question 1, and we'll put display text down here. Remember that only the display text and photo will be shown to the player. The state title is only visible in the game editor. I already have my display text written out, so I'm just going to copy and paste that in for the sake of time, but you can type right into the box. I'll read through this real quick to make sure it's right, and now that it looks good, I'll click Accept. This warning is going to pop up a lot. As long as you build your game top-down like we are, you shouldn't have to worry about it. We'll talk more in depth about what this means in the editing a game video. Next, I want to add a button press transition. However, transitions can only be placed on connections from one state to another. So I'm going to add another state that will represent question 2. Then I'm going to draw a connection from question 1 to question 2. And now I can add a transition on that connection. So let's open up this transition editor. Now I want it to be a button press, so I'll select that option over in this left panel. And I know the correct answer that would allow a player to move through this transition is black. So I'll select black in the right panel. Now click Accept and close that. For the sake of time, I'm going to skip the wrong answer states, but feel free to try it out on your own. If you get stuck or need help, you can always load Demo Game 1 Player in the game editor and look to see how it was programmed. So let's quickly edit this second state. I'll open it up and I'm going to type question 2 for the state title. And I already have the display text prepared, so I'm just going to paste that into the display text box and hit Accept and OK. Now I want to add a color sequence transition after this. So same as before, I'm going to drag in a new state. Now I'll draw a connection from question 2 to the new state, and I'll drop a transition on that connection. So let's open up this transition editor. I'm going to select color sequence as the type in the left panel. And on the right, I'm going to add the correct sequence. So I'll click the Add Sequence button, and I'm going to drag black, green, blue, red into the blank box. If you make a mistake, you can always hit Cancel and try again. But this is the correct sequence, so I'm going to click Accept, and it appears right here. Looks good to me, so I'm going to click Accept again, and then OK. We're almost done. I'll open up the next state. Let's quickly call it question 3, and I'll paste in the display text. Now click Accept and OK. I only have one more transition to add, which is the keyboard entry. So just like before, I'm going to add a new state, draw a connection from question 3 to the new state, and drop a transition on the connection. When we open up the transition editor, I'm going to select text entry as the type on the left. And this question only has one correct answer, which is Mercury. So I'll go over and add an entry in the right box. Here I'll type Mercury and click Accept. Everything looks good in this transition, so I'll click Accept and OK. Now this is the end of our game, so I'm going to open up this last state and call it End. Then in the display text, I'll write, "Congrats! You won the game." Now I'll click Accept and OK. Finally, the most important step is to save your game by clicking this button. The WLCP does not save your game automatically, so you must remember to save your game to not lose your work. And this is it. We've finished recreating the demo game. The goal of this video was to show you the basics of forming a game and adding game elements. Now you can try to recreate the demo game yourself or start creating your own game. You can also watch another tutorial to learn more about using the WLCP.